All right. Some people wanted more stories about the Hells Angels in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. I said, okay. All right. And they were like, who's Bex? That's my daughter. Well, who's Rebecca? That's my ex. Well, who's President Blue? That's her dad from Marion, North Carolina. And I was in Black Mountain, North Carolina when I met her. Oh God! All right, some more stories. Okay. All right. Um. God, man. All right. I just woke up. Good morning, by the way. My 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 daughter Bex, not Rebecca. My daughter Bex, whose name is also Rebecca. Her cousin is South Carolina Hell's Angel. President Blue was the North Carolina chapter president. Rebecca was a high-ranking member and one of the first women to be patched into the Hells Angels. It's just a motorcycle club, people. Seriously, that's all it is. It's a motorcycle club, like any other motorcycle club. Okay, so some stories. Okay, well, uh, when Rebecca and I were together up there in the Appalachian Mountains, because they were wondering about why I posted that story, because Bex asked me to read her a bedtime story and tuck her in. Uh, some stories. God, we did some crazy shit. Anyway, um, this one time, me and Rebecca got into an argument, and we were driving through the mountains. And I don't know if you know what it's like driving through the Appalachian Mountains, but it's dangerous. Okay, it's very dangerous. So we're driving through the mountains, going back to our cabin, and I said something off color about her grandmother, and she punched me in the jaw. And she's like, "Don't you ever fucking talk shit about my grandmama again." And I was like, "God damn it, Rebecca, I'm trying to fucking drive, you know." And she opened the door and jumped out and rolled across the ground. And I was like, "Oh shit." So I had to turn around on those mountain roads and go back and try to find her. Turned around and I found her. Turned back around, and those mountain roads are very narrow, you know. So anyway, I'm pulling up beside her, and my side view mirror accidentally hit her and knocked her off into a ditch. You know, I was like, "Oh shit!" So I stopped and I jumped out and I picked her up, you know, and put her in the car. And I was like, "Oh my God, honey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Can we please go back home now?" And I was like, "Yeah, come on." I said, "I'm sorry I said something off color about your grandma, okay?" And I took her back to the cabin and laid her down in bed. This other time, uh, uh, we were watching Wild Hogs. You know, we used to drink a lot of Bloody Marys together. That's my favorite drink. So anyway, she got sleepy and she went on back to the bed and laid down, and um, Anyway, we'd gotten to some kind of little tiff about something. I can't remember what it was. It was something stupid. And the 5 cops bum rushed my cabin and they broke my door in. Me and Rebecca were just like, "What are you guys doing here?" They said, "Well, we heard somebody said they were going to kill themselves." And we were like, "No, we're laying in bed, sleeping." Nobody's. I said, "You broke my door." And the cops were like, "Well, what is this?" I was like, "That is called marijuana." And they're like, "Okay, well, uh, we're going to set a court date." And we were like, "Okay, fine, whatever. And every single time the police come up with some stupid asinine reason to arrest us, when it goes to court, the charges are always dropped, okay? And it is a big waste of time and money, okay? They took my weed. They probably smoked it themselves. And I was like, "Oh, great. You took you took our weed, okay?" And me and Rebecca are best friends with this deaf guy named Matt, okay? This guy knows how to play guitar like Beethoven, okay? He's deaf, but he puts his ear down to the guitar so he can feel the vibration, and he can play like Ozzy and stuff like that just by putting his ear on the guitar so he can hear the vibration like Beethoven and play the guitar. And he loves baseball. Matt loves baseball, so when you hang out with mountain folk, Appalachian mountain folk, something you got to get used to is when you have visitors, they don't just stay for like a couple of hours in a casserole, okay? Uh, the mountain folk, when they come over to visit, they're going to stay with you for like at least a week. And whenever you go over to their house, they're going to expect you to stay for like at least a week or so, and get a bunch of things done. Um, and Matt was watching baseball one time, and Rebecca looked at me, and she started grinning at me, and I was like, "What is it, honey, Mama?" And she said, "What do you think it would sound like to have sex with him?" And she started cracking up laughing, and I was like, "I don't know." She'd be like, she said, "I bet it would be like, bah, 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 oh, bah, bah, oh, bah." And I said, "Rebecca, don't make fun of Matt, okay? That's not funny." And she just started cracking up laughing. I was like, and Matt's just sitting there watching baseball, and she's going, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." I was like, don't make fun of deaf people, Rebecca, okay?" I gotta admit that was pretty funny when she said that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of deaf people, okay? I have blind friends too, by the way. I don't know why that thought occurred to her. She's like, "I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with a deaf person." Matt was cool though. He'd buy us breakfast every morning at McDonald's whenever he'd come visit us at the cabin by the railroad tracks. And this one other time, one of my buddies at the Hells Angels in North Carolina, he rolled by the cabin. Rebecca was hanging out with her dad and her grandmother, and he said, "Come on, man, let's go ride." I said, "Okay." So I hopped on the back of his bike, and yes, I was riding, bitch. It happens, if you want to get around. And so he's he's like, "Come on, I want to go show you the lake." I was like, "Okay, cool, let's go. Come on, let's go to the lake." He's like, "Maybe the pool will be open." And I was like, "All right." He's like, He said, "I want to meet some girls." And I was like, "Okay." Well, the pool turned out not to be open that day for some reason. I guess they were cleaning it or something. He's like, "Okay, come on, let's whip around here up through these mountains." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Well, he lost control of his bike, and we slid. We slid, and both fell off of it. And fortunately, we were wearing clothes, and rolled across the asphalt. And got up and looked at each other. We were like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Are you okay? Is anything broken?" He was like, "No, no, no, I'm fine, man." He said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, man, I'm good. That wasn't too bad." We had to go drag his bike up out of a ditch and hop back on it. He's like, "Let's just go back to your cabin and drink some beers, smoke some weed." I said, "Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. All right. Take it slower this time," because he was flying around those corners. It's dangerous driving through the mountains. So, anyway, and then, oh God, we got kicked out of a bar one time, um, up there in Black Mountain. We got kicked out of a bar because Rebecca and her dad, President Blue, they were at the jukebox putting in coins, just shoving in coins into the jukebox and playing all kinds of songs. And the bartender looked at me and he was like, and they were dancing with each other like this, and dancing and stuff. And the bartender looked at me and he said, "I don't like them being in here." I said, "Why not?" He said, "I just don't like them being in here. Y'all need to get out now. Don't come back." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I went and grabbed her daddy and her, and I said, "They're making us leave. Let's go to this other bar." So we went over to the other bar, and they started doing the same thing at their jukebox. And the bartender was like, "Y'all can come in here anytime you want to." I was like, "Cool," because I just live like a block away right there. He's like, "I know." I was like, "Okay." I love you guys.